Paul should be fighting a real fighter.
At some point, you have to fight a real boxer, Jake.
I'm not going to respect Jake Paul until he faces a professional.
My intentions have been pure. I want Joshua. He's been dodging me, ducking me, and I was like, whoa. So I called Eddie. Has there been any conversation between you and the Wilder camp? No, we ain't heard a peep. I said, so why is he calling my name out saying I've been ducking and dodging it? I feel like we've been stuck at a big hurdle with this last WBC belt. I've shown my cards. I've laid them all out on the table. So you've got a chance to beat me and have the key to the city. You have a chance to earn your biggest prize money. You've got a chance to fight in front of the best and the biggest crowd that boxing has to offer at Wembley Stadium. That being said, I don't know how many more cards I have to lay on your table to entice you. I'm ready to give it all.
Who? Anyone, anytime, any place. When? Anyone, anytime, any place. Where? Anyone, anytime, any place.
No matter where the we at in the world, we gonna push this motherfucker and we gonna get it done.
Let's go.
We are the best team in the world. You understand? We all come from different places, but we stick together, we a brotherhood, and we gonna make sure this motherfucker is victorious. Let's get it. You know what we gonna do. Anyone, anytime, any place.
Who? Anyone, anytime, any place.
When?
Anyone, anytime, any place.
Where?
Anyone, anytime, any place.
1, 2, 3.
When?
That we've been waiting for. We've been trying to make this fight happen for quite some time now, and it's finally here, and we're definitely ready.
He's been pushing himself. He's asking me, what can I do more? How can I be better? How can I build my fitness more? And that's really a sign of a great individual and a great champion, someone who really wants to be better. And he's working, he's doing it in this 100-degree heat.
There is a saying, I would say, there's a saying that a happy fighter makes a dangerous fighter, in the sense that if you put them in the right environment and their brain is receptive of what they're being taught, they're going to be more in tune with what they're going through. So I'm actually like, give me more, give me more, give me more.
I look at what he does and I'm inspired, and you know, even just coming here and seeing him today, you know, it's cool to see his life and see what goes into preparing for a big fight.
You know, I don't want to do it for the fame because I haven't paid any bills. I just want to do it because I enjoy it. I still want to compete at a high level, just for the love of it.
Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. Both fighters are deep into intense training camps, pushing their bodies and minds to the limit. Joshua is sharpening every skill, building strength, and preparing to show why he is a world champion. Meanwhile, Paul is working on speed, strategy, and endurance, determined to prove he belongs in the ring with boxing's elite. Firstly, Anthony Joshua is training harder than ever, working on every part of his skills and going through exercises that would be too tough for most professional athletes. If Jake Paul thinks this is just another fun influencer boxing match where everyone takes it easy, he is making a huge mistake. Boxing was supposed to be just a side activity.
One more. One more. Beautiful. Good. That's what we've got to bring him on to. Nobody can take them. Who can take them? Nobody. Yeah. That's it. Beautiful.
For Jake Paul, something to do when he got bored with YouTube drama. But now he is facing a fight that could either prove all the things he has said about himself or show that his critics were right. When his fight with Gervonta Davis fell through, Paul didn't back down. He immediately challenged Anthony Joshua, which could be seen as either very brave or very risky in the world of sports.
I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind, you know, behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up and it's looking very likely for next year.
Jake Paul has a record of 12 wins and 1 loss, with 7 knockouts, but people often point out that most of his wins came against influencers, retired athletes, or fighters long past their prime. Critics have said he only picks easy opponents and avoids anyone who could really challenge him. They say he only fights smaller guys, or he's scared of real boxers. But that story is about to change. Anthony Joshua is a real top-level fighter, and Paul is moving up several weight classes just to face him. This is not an easy matchup. It could either ruin his career or prove everything he's claimed. Paul is asking for respect, and he is ready to risk everything to earn it.
Good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, that's a big if. Right? I mean, Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, like, good Lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. That fight's not competitive.
Even Joe Rogan had to give his opinion, and it was pretty strong. He said the fight could make a lot of money, but warned that Jake Paul is taking a huge risk with his career. Anthony Joshua is a world champion, very famous, and hits with powerful punches that can end fights quickly. Rogan joked that Joshua might take 99% of the money from the fight, which wouldn't be surprising. This fight is both a big business deal and a serious test in the ring, and even though the odds are tough for Paul, he is going ahead anyway.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
And will. I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists ever.
Yes.
Anthony Joshua is going through what his team calls the toughest training camp of his life, and that's saying a lot for someone who has faced champions like Vladimir Klitschko and Alexander Usyk. This training isn't just about getting physically ready, it's also designed to make Paul nervous before the fight even starts. Joshua's schedule is extreme. Hard strength exercises that would be too much for most people, non-stop sparring with top-level heavyweights who are trying to hurt him, long sessions practicing defense and counterpunching, and a strict diet that leaves no room for mistakes.
That's the difference. Good. One more. Let's take our time. Let's just set it up even calmer. As he comes. There you go. Good. Beautiful. One more. There you go. Beautiful shot. Beautiful. That's beautiful boxing. Good. That's lovely, Josh. And again, pop that long jab. There you go. And again. There you go. Beautiful. Pop that long one too. Up on your throat.
Joshua has been this focused before, especially when he was getting ready to fight Usyk, and he knows he needs the same determined mindset again. Jake Paul, even with all the criticism, is not a normal opponent. With all the attention and Paul's strong confidence, Joshua understands that he cannot afford to relax for even a single moment.
Because earlier on, if you look for power, you waste energy, then that power evaporates. When they're tired, you ain't got the power to take them out, so you've got to open up in the gap for no reason. So just relax, flow.
Just pop off
Good
that
feet,
region.
you were saying.
Just pop off that region. Anytime you move, that should be that. That should be that. Yeah. And then the controls down the middle. All right.
Yeah. That's what
controls smooth. Relax. Last minute, mate. That'll do you then. Uppercut. Good. Right hand. Good. Left hook high. Good. Uppercut high. And again.
How far are you willing to go to make sure that the fight with Deontay Wilder does happen?
As far as I have been. My intentions have been pure. I want Joshua. He's been dodging me, ducking me, and I was like, whoa. So I called Eddie. Has there been any conversation?
However, Joshua is carefully practicing every punch and combination, making sure each one is as strong and accurate as possible. He is also building his stamina so he can keep fighting at full strength in the later rounds while Paul gets tired. His goal is to control the fight, outsmart Paul, and use his strength to dominate for as long as it lasts. Mentally, Joshua is unshakable. Trash talk, surprises, or distractions do not affect him. He is completely focused. He wants to show the clear difference between a world-class heavyweight champion and an internet star trying his hand at boxing.
I've shown my cards, so I've laid them all out on the table. So you've got a chance to beat me and have the keys to the city. You have a chance to earn your biggest prize money. You've got a chance to fight in front of the best
and the biggest crowd that boxing has to offer.
Moreover, Joshua is sending a very clear message. Jake Paul is not just fighting any boxer. He is stepping into a storm made from years of hard work, training, and championship experience. When the fight starts, Joshua plans to leave no doubt about who is in control. For a former champion like him, it is not just about winning by points. It is about dominating every second from the first bell to the last.
That being said, I don't know how many more cards I have to lay on your table to entice you. I'm ready to give it all. And let's start working towards the Undisputed Championship of the world. What more can I do? This is an important fight. It's a banana skin fight, and a fight I can't afford to slip up.
Certainly Ruiz, who's technically sound, will be a pain with his speed. Josh has got to break up them attacks, keep his rhythm, and use his reach, and I think he'll get him under control, and I think he'll get on top of him after a few rounds.
I need to kind of stay focused, stick to a game plan, don't get caught up in the new territory and trying to please everyone, because at the end of the day, when the cherry's placed on the top of the cake, everyone's happy, and that's the knockout in boxing, and that's what I'm going to deliver.
This insane leap in competition levels caught boxing insider Mike Coppinger completely off guard when the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight was officially announced, and he didn't hold back on how absolutely reckless this matchup is. One moment, Paul's preparing for Gervonta Davis, a fighter who, while dangerous, competes at a significantly lighter weight class. Literally days later, he's contractually obligated to face Joshua, a massive, proven heavyweight destroyer. Looking at their skills, the difference between Joshua and Paul is very clear. Joshua has everything a top heavyweight needs. Powerful punches with both hands, excellent technique, a strong jab to set up his bigger shots, and championship experience from fighting the best in the world.
Instead of having a fake fight, basically, I don't want to say fake fight, but an exhibition against 135 pounds, but now he's going to fight a heavyweight in a real fight, and it's a bout that was in talks earlier this year, and look, I know that it's a major business, but still got to give Jake Paul major props, right? He's fighting Anthony Joshua. We saw what Joshua did to the last non-world class boxer he faced, which was Francis Ngannou, flattened him in 2 rounds last year. So I think it's fascinating.
These points came up during Joe Rogan's talk with Wade Plemons from the Wade Concept. Plemons explained that people watch heavyweight boxing because it is truly dangerous. When powerful fighters throw their strongest punches, anything can happen, which makes the fights exciting. He said Joshua has to take this fight very seriously. That danger is what draws the audience. For Joshua, this fight is more than just publicity. It is a chance to show the big difference between a real champion and a celebrity trying boxing. Plemons also pointed out that heavyweight boxing is special because even one punch can change the outcome, no matter how well a fighter did in the earlier rounds.
I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it sounds fucking demented, terrifying, and just in the same tone I would want AJ to take this fight. Being there, playing no games, wanting to knock Jake Spark out El Sparko cold, because that is what makes Jake Paul or any other fights interesting. A level of danger that we believe, a level of competition that we want to see. And the details, like I said, fire me up. It's a professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ got to take him serious because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute round.
Jake Paul, on the other hand, has very fast hands, some unpredictability, and is excellent at promoting fights. Even though he has only been a professional boxer for 5 years, he has learned good techniques, improved his timing, become better at defending himself, and can throw combinations that surprise people. Boxing expert Tony Jeffries, like promoter Frank Warren, didn't see Paul winning. He said Joshua is clearly the favorite. Jeffries agreed that Paul has real punching power and can end fights with one punch, but that strength is not enough against a fighter like Joshua.
What are the rules? The bout will take place at a heavyweight, obviously. It's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. You might think, well, that's better for Jake Paul, and I'm thinking, not really. It's better for Anthony Joshua because he's just going to go all out for them 8 3-minute rounds. And imagine that, Anthony Joshua blasting at you, 6'6", whatever he is, 250 pounds, throwing big bombs at you. Anyway, both fighters will be using 10-ounce gloves for the duration of the contest. Why have they got that? It says both fighters will be wearing 10-ounce gloves for the duration of the contest. What do you expect? Them to take them off halfway through and switch them to 12s? But I guess these days, anything happens in boxing, right? The boys will follow similar rules to Jake Paul and Mike Tyson in November, but that fight was 8 2-minute rounds and 14-ounce gloves. Not similar if it's smaller gloves.
Chael Sonnen responded to fans who wanted to see Jake Paul face a real tough challenge. People were asking for someone strong, fast, and powerful enough to stop Paul and prove if all the hype about him was true. Sonnen said, "You're not just looking for a fight, you want to see Jake Paul's myth broken, with no excuses and no lucky escapes." Fans weren't just hoping for a fight, they wanted to see a dramatic ending. Sonnen explained what many were thinking but not saying out loud, that a lot of people watching didn't expect Paul to win. They wanted to see him face the real consequences of his actions.
I gotta hear him call my names, I gotta go out there, I gotta be light on my feet, I gotta lay on these combinations and then cut an interview and pump my hands over my shoulders like I accomplished something. What dreams are made of. And so Joshua did one of those fights. It was with Francis, and this is a completely different kind of that type of fight, but it's still that fight nonetheless. Jake Paul has abilities to win this fight. A lot of them involved moral victories. A lot of them involved getting out of the first round. And a lot of them would involve getting out of the first 2 rounds and haven't been knocked down yet. One would be getting out of the 3rd round, you've only been on the canvas once, and you got up to your feet, you shook it off, and you're ready to keep going. Like, these things are all victories, but the fight that it's going to happen.
When the conversation turned to Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, Chael Sonnen spoke even more strongly. He said this is the fight everyone has been waiting for. Finally, a fighter with real knockout power and a proven record is taking on Jake Paul. Sonnen explained that fans want to see if Paul can handle a true champion, and they want to see it quickly and clearly. This fight is no longer just for entertainment, it's about finding out the truth. According to Sonnen, Joshua is the one who can show it. He described the matchup as boxing's way of answering an important question. Can social media fame and promotion replace real boxing training, or will true champions show that there are no shortcuts to success?
And so Joshua did one of those fights. It was with Francis, and this is a completely different kind of that type of fight, but it's still that fight nonetheless. Jake Paul has abilities to win this fight. A lot of them involved moral victories. A lot of them involved getting out of the first round. And a lot of them would involve getting out of the first 2 rounds and haven't been knocked down yet. One would be getting out of the 3rd round, you've only been on the canvas once, and you got up to your feet, you shook it off, and you're ready to keep going. Like, these things are all victories, but the fight that it's going to happen.
Looking at this fight, Showbiz gave a very strong prediction. He said Anthony Joshua could defeat Jake Paul within just 2 minutes. He wondered why Paul would even agree to this fight, suggesting it might be his last big payday before retiring. But for Joshua, this fight is a smart move for his career. By knocking out a fighter that many people love to dislike, he could become a hero in the boxing world, go viral online, and be remembered as the man who ended the Jake Paul era.
Jake Paul, why would you want to get knocked out? Unless he's done with the whole shit. Maybe Jake Paul is just ready to put on his promoter cap and say, let me go out with a bang, because he's going to go out with a bang, bang, big time. Anthony A.J. Joshua is going to cave his face in. But Jake, kudos to you for taking the fight. Anthony Joshua, why would he take the fight? We responded in a way to energize his career after he knocked out Francis Ngannou. Jake Paul, a bigger star than Francis Ngannou and hated far more. Anthony A.J. Joshua caving in Jake Paul's face is going to not only go viral, but it's going to put an S on Anthony A.J. Joshua's chest, put a cape on his back, and the boxing world is going to reward him as somebody who ended this whole Jake Paul fight.
Shaquille Majori said Anthony Joshua's fight with Jake Paul is a smart career move, not just a boxing match. He explained that this fight is Joshua's chance to enter the American market, using Jake Paul's huge fame in the US and the global reach of Netflix. Winning in a big way would restore Joshua's reputation as a powerful fighter and help him earn a lot more money, but the biggest goal is even bigger. This win could give Joshua the chance to finally fight his longtime rival, Tyson Fury, and create the legendary match fans have been waiting for.
His promoter, Matchroom Boxing's Eddie Hearn, has suggested the 2026 could be Anthony Joshua's retirement year, and what he wants most for his client is 2 fights against Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury is retired, but Tyson Fury has retired about as many times as there are Marvel movies. So that's not something we should really like hang on to too tightly. It's a fight that we've really wanted to see in the English market. We haven't had it happen yet. So for Anthony Joshua, two things are most important about this. One, it's his chance, even though he's one of England's biggest boxing stars, to make more inroads into the US market. You're gonna be hard pressed, even though it sounds kind of crazy to say, a bigger American boxing star than Jake Paul. So that's huge. It being on Netflix, global exposure for him. And if he wins, and most likely when he wins, he's setting himself up for as much momentum as possible and as much leverage as possible to lull Tyson Fury out of retirement.
David Hay said this fight is very uneven, with Jake Paul having less than 20% of Anthony Joshua's skill in any area of boxing. He described Joshua as a top athlete who trains hard, lives a healthy life, and is much stronger and more skilled than Paul. Hay warned that Joshua could cause serious damage and said he was genuinely worried about Paul's safety. He hoped the referee would step in quickly, because if the fight became one-sided, Joshua's punches could be extremely dangerous. First of all, Carl Froch launched a brutal dismissal of a potential Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, framing it as a clear symptom of Joshua's decline. He contended that Joshua's recent record proves he is no longer the elite force he once was, making this matchup a strategic financial move rather than a competitive one. In Froch's view, by choosing to face an influencer like Paul, Joshua is signaling that his days at the top are over. This fight, therefore, isn't seen as a return to form, but as a final cash grab for a champion who has lost his way in the sport.
Professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. Fake Paul, let me stop you right there. Anthony Joshua, in his last 7 fights, has been beaten 3 times. The 4 fighters that he beat didn't come to win. So he's not in his prime, is he? He's literally at the end of his career, pretty much finished. And this is why taking this fight with you is telling you all you need to know. It's a cash out. You might as well just cream as much money as he can at the end of his career, fighting an absolute joke shop in clown world. When I beat Anthony Joshua, he says, every doubt disappears. Come on. I mean, if this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a 1-round job.
This isn't just another big fight. For Jake Paul, it could make or break his career. For Anthony Joshua, it's a big opportunity, but comes with real risk. Fans can't stop watching. Can Jake handle Joshua's size, strength, and experience? Or will Joshua take control from the very first bell? Every punch could change everything. This is the kind of fight where heroes are made and careers are tested. Paul could lose everything if he gets beaten badly, while Joshua could hurt his reputation if he doesn't show why he is a true champion. What do you think? Who will win? Like this video if you're excited, share your full prediction in the comments, and subscribe to Boxiverse for more fight updates, expert opinions, and training camp news. This is a historic fight, and you don't want to miss a single moment.